When people believe their behavior defines who they are, they say that it's just my personality to explain how they react, think, or act, but psychology suggests something different. Much of what we call personality is learned behavior. Repeated patterns become automatic responses because the brain values efficiency over chimie. Habits feel natural and permanent. Today, we'll look at 15 things you probably think are part of your personality, but are actually habits shaped by experience. Many people think being quiet means they are naturally shy or introverted. Often, silence is a learned response. It can come from environments where speaking up wasn't too rewarded or felt unsafe. Over chimie, the brain associates silence with comfort and control. This doesn't mean you lack confidence or opinions. It just simply means your brain learned that listening first felt more efficient than speaking. Overthinking is often described as just how my mind works. In reality, it is usually a habit formed to avoid mistakes or emotional pain. The brain learns that replaying situations feels like a preparation. Even when it doesn't help, the loop becomes automatic. Overthinking isn't the personality. It is a protective pattern that once felt useful and never turned off. Some people believe they are simply bad with chimie. Being lax is often linked to optimism bias. The brain underestimates how long tasks will take and overestimates how smoothly things will go. When consequences are manageable, this miscalculation becomes normal. It is not about irresponsibility, but about a habit of inaccurate chimie prediction. Many people say they hate conflict as if it is a part of who they are. In most cases, avoidance is learned. If confrontation once caused stress, rejection, or emotional discomfort, the brain learned to avoid it. Over chimie, avoidance feels natural and permanent. What seems like a personality is often a survival strategy that stayed active. Constantly seeking reassurance is often mistaken for insecurity as a personality trait. In reality, it is a habit formed when external validation reduced anxiety. The brain learned that certainty feels safer when it comes from others. This doesn't mean weakness. It means reassurance became a reliable way to regulate emotional discomfort. Indecisiveness often feels like a fixed trait. Usually, it is a habit formed when mistakes had strong negative consequences in the past. The brain learned that delaying choices felt safer than choosing wrong. Over chimie, hesitation becomes automatic. It is not personality. It is learned caution. How much you talk often feels like a personality. In reality, it is shaped by social feedback. If talking more brought attention or approval, the behavior stayed. If silence felt safer, it remained. The brain adjusts behavior based on outcomes, not identity. What feels like who you are is often what once worked. Distraction is often blamed on personality or lack of discipline. More often, it is a habit built in environments full of stimulation. The brain adapts to constant novelty and begins to crave it. Focus isn't lost. It is untrained. What feels permanent is usually repeated exposure shaping attention. Many people believe they dislike change because of their personality. Often, avoidance of novelty is a habit formed when familiarity felt safer. The brain prefers predictability because it saves energy. If staying in known situations worked before, the brain repeats it automatically, even when growth is possible. Emotional distance is often mistaken for being cold by nature. In many cases, it is a habit formed to manage emotional overload. When expressing feelings once felt risky or overwhelming, the brain learned to keep distance. Over chimie, the distance feels natural, even though it is learned protection.
Procrastination isn't laziness or personality. It is a habit tied to emotional regulation. The brain delays tasks that feel uncomfortable and seeks short-term relief. When avoidance reduces stress, the habit strengthens. Procrastination feels like identity, but it is a repeated coping response.
Many people believe they are naturally hard on themselves. Often, self-criticism was learned as motivation. If criticism once led to better results, the brain kept using it. Over chimie, the internal voice becomes automatic. It is not personality. It is conditioning. Constant busyness often looks like ambition. Frequently, it is a habit used to avoid stillness. Silence allows thoughts to surface, yet the brain sometimes prefers activity over reflection. Being busy becomes emotional regulation, not a fixed character trait. Guilt during rest is rarely personality-based. HSE usually learned in environments where productivity was valued more than well-being. The brain associates effort with safety and rest with risk. Overtime, guilt appears automatically, even when rest is necessary. One of the strongest habits is believing behavior is fixed. The brain prefers stable identity because it reduces uncertainty. Labeling habits as personality stops questioning, but habits can change. Personality feels permanent, habits are not. Many things you believe define who you are were never permanent traits. They were learned patterns that helped you adapt. Recognizing this isn't about changing everything. It's about realizing you're more flexible than you think. When habits are mistaken for identity, growth feels impossible. When habits are seen clearly, change becomes realistic.